Well, ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and thank you so much for joining this Saturday night. Am I frozen? Somebody said I'm frozen. But if I'm frozen, is it my drink is frozen? Am I frozen? Is that what you said? Am I frozen? I don't think I'm frozen. Well, ladies and gentlemen, 1 second. Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this Saturday evening, the 4th of March, 2023. Talk and sip. Oh, you're having frozen strawberry. I'm already engaging with persons on cousins, family on Instagram talking about the drink. Well, I think before I can even start the show, which is normally the case, before I start the show, I should always talk about what I'm drinking. Moving away from the alcohol. Well, I don't drink alcohol that much, but maybe like on a Saturday evening, because of the show, we'll have a glass of wine, which is even a bare minimum to a certain extent. And I've been drinking some Irish moss, yeah. You know, it's the one that you get in the tin in London. You don't get the real ones, like take it out to the beach in Jamaica, you boil it and everything like that. So you get the closest, but it's come from Jamaica still. Yeah. And of course, have my sparkling water. What are you drinking? As much as possible. And what can I say? It's been a very good week, very relaxing week, very chilly for those in the park. And of course, I'm talking about the UK, and for those all over the world or wherever you are, that is good. And I try to keep the focus as much as possible, not just on Jamaica, but worldwide to a certain extent. And if you want to join the show, you can always come over onto YouTube. Come over onto YouTube. Facebook is like, what should I call it? A window. Facebook is like a window. It's like a window to your soul. And Instagram is like a window to your soul. It's like window shopping. But then you get over onto YouTube where you can see the comments and what persons are actually saying. So I always try to get people to come over onto YouTube, and of course that boosts the numbers as well, because it goes out on YouTube, goes out on Facebook and Instagram as well. So those are the different areas where you come on to. Boost mode, activate, Jamaica to the world. My brethren said boost mode. Boost mode. Okay, so you're drinking. What is this you're drinking? Somebody said they're drinking something here. Where is it? What are you guys drinking? Let me see your drinks. Nice breakdown of the different socials. Yeah. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Let me just put this up here. Rounded. Light speaker. Nice breakdown. There's a pre-workout type thing. Yeah, pre-workout type thing. Yeah. So the topic which I've sort of coined, and of course coining the topic is just setting the stage. Pre-workout thing, it has BCAS. I don't know what that is, bro. It is, the more things change, the more they remain the same. The more things change, the more they remain the same. There are sayings that we say for years, and things that we talk about for years, and sometimes we don't even understand what we're saying, or we just say it because it sounds good, and we hear people say it, so we keep saying it as well. But I coined the phrase that the more things remain the same, the more things change, things remain the same. It's not just with it's like the whole world now, in the whole scheme of things. In the whole scheme of things, it's like you got world leaders, You got people. Everybody's trying to changing up things, and everybody believing that they have the best interests of the people at heart. So they think that they're all doing it for the betterment of the people. But it seems to a certain extent that they completely missed the boat. And I'm not saying that I've got the boat. And I'm not saying that I'm driving in the same boat or something like that, you know? A bit late for pre-workout, but it's either that or water. Well, it's a bit late for a pre-workout drink. Yes, definitely. It's good now for just chilling. And the term, the more things remain the same. In 1849, there was a French writer, Jean-Baptiste Alphonse Carr, wrote, "Plus qu'a change, plus c'est la même for Charles." That is French, which I definitely can't speak. And it is, the more things change, the more they stay the same, you know? And filled with apprehension in mid-2018, she said she returned from maternity leave like most new moms, returning to the workforce. I was concerned, this is what somebody said, what had changed in my year off, what impact was technology. This is Sarah Dedley, writing about it, you know? What was a follow from the Royal Commission, and how was it change business and a more personal level? How are they going to possibly balance responding to clients' needs and getting to daycare by 6 a.m.? She was looking at it from her perspective. So, in Jean-Baptiste's words, still ring true 150 years on. Matters of, what should I say, alleged fraud. You know, talks about alleged fraud. Baptiste talks about corruption, misconduct, no different to what left in 2017. And she said, if honest, no different to 10 years before that. We still seem to be getting the basics wrong. Huge advances in technology have made business a little more complacent. And we trust that the system will prevent or detect potential fraud or misconduct, however. And when it comes down to it, there are still people involved, all posts that involve the movement of company funds to coin another. Now, she's just speaking from that perspective there. And that's one perspective. I was looking at it in a different way at the same time. I was looking at it in the sense of Jamaica. And what struck me positively, I would say positively this week, because you can actually look at things and say it's positive or negative, but I look at things positively in the sense that through it all, you can actually gauge and find something positive out of it. And I started to wonder in a way that the leaders, I'm going to say the leaders of the world, but let's make it specific, the leaders of Jamaica, one could say, are they operating in the best interest of Jamaicans, or is it the people allowing these things to happen? Are they operating in the best interest of Jamaica, or is it the people allowing these things to happen? You know, when I look and reflect that St. Lucia, which has now approved the Caribbean Court of Justice as its final and highest court, that is one. Barbados has ditched the king as their head of state. Lester, how are you? I just saw you right there. I'm going to bring you in shortly. Just saw you there. You know? Where was that again? Let me get it right. You know? Barbados ditched the king as the head of state. Jamaica approved license for Canadian ganja to be imported into Jamaica. And I always say that whenever I hear these things, I try not to jump on the bandwagon and get my I'm going to say get your knickers in a twist, but get yourself in a twist. But there's always some other side to it. That even in my post, I did say, well, the government of Jamaica must know what they're up to. And then I started to look at it and say 63 people or MPs, or a fraction of the MPs, seem to maybe influence or have a fundamental hold upon 3 million people. Is it the people at fault, or is it government? Is it the people or the government? And that is something I want to look at in a way. because it's very interesting and it's a very poignant issue, and it is worth sort of evaluating, if anything. You know, wake up, Virgin, wake up, wake up. You have music in the background and play. Wake up, wake up, wake up.
No, I'm a good man.
You're
Good.
asleep. You think you're asleep a while ago. Your eyes start to.
Good, but just listen to your opening innings, you know?
Is your is let me see. Speak again. Let me hear like a background sound.
But say, listen to your opening innings.
Okay, because I was hearing like a background sound, like they're dance or something like that. You know?
There's a cafe below me, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, the good thing is that I'm hearing you double. I'm hearing the echo, and it's very powerful. I guess you're at a high level that the power of your network is so powerful for me, you know. But I will just say, how was your week? What you drinking, Lester? I mean, we're all trying to. What's that? Water.
Yeah, with okra and lime and strawberry and kiwi.
Why are you drinking that?
For my eyesight, for my diabetes, and to lose weight.
Okay. So for your diabetes and to lose weight, and therefore it is not just about going outside and trying to, what should I say, push up or press up, or skip. It's about your diet. Is it that? What do you say about the diet? What have you learned in a sense regarding the diet and so like that?
You have to be, if you want to lose weight, no amount
Yeah.
of exercise can make you lose weight. You have to change
Yeah.
what you put in your mouth. You know,
Yeah.
and you have to be consistent. Also you can't mix everything.
Yeah.
You know, so a lot of people think that because it's greener, it's healthier, stuff like that. No. You have some fruits have natural sugar. So what happened
Yes.
to a lot of diabetic people, especially from the Caribbean or from tropical countries, is like them eat pineapple and mango a lot. Cause you know it's sweet, it's nice.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
because that fruit, them feel say nothing wrong with it. But they have high levels of sugar in it. So all that natural sugar is still sugar.
Yes.
So it push up it affect your diabetes also. You know. So me not eat mango again, me not eat pineapple.
You know what, Tony Kelly, who came on my
Yeah.
program recently, talking about we're about March 24th. We're like birthday mates, and I told him about you as well. Actually, I forget. He said I should give you not give you his number. And Tony's when I was diagnosed pre-diabetic and I was getting into a lot of the juices, and I was drinking all these juices and blending them. And Tony said to me that when you blend all the different juices, sometimes some of them are very sugary,
Yeah.
even though it looks like natural. Because when you buy
Yeah.
these green juices, sometimes it look like it's natural, but it's really lots of glucose like that in it.
Yeah.
But what he said was that when you eat them, they are better than
Yeah.
juices when you eat
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
So that's one of the tips he said. When you eat them, they're much better. But again, one has to really balance what you eat, because I used to make like fruit juice like with mango, orange, pineapple, grapes, everything sugar. And I used to think that, yeah, man, I got it, man, I got it, because I just got natural. It was all natural,
Yeah.
but then realizing that it was,
But what my doctor recommended that if I'm going to eat fruits or blend it,
yeah,
I should eat only two.
yes,
And if I'm going to blend it, two. Because a lot of people put, like as you said, multiple fruits, and the sugar content in it is really, really high. The glucose content is really, really high. So
yeah,
so that's what I'm doing. And then you find out that there's some other fruit like blackberry, blueberry,
yes,
these raspberries and stuff like that are better, especially if you have diabetes or if you want to contain your your sugar levels, you
Yes.
eat those type of fruits. And me start eat a lot of natural nuts and raisins and stuff like that.
Yes.
Um, so like I don't drink any type of processed drink anymore. Like
Mm.
the difference with me, Sylbourne, as a it is how my genetics, how my makeup mentally also is that if me decide to make it like the day I got diagnosed, it's the
Yes.
same day me cut off rice, flour, drinking soda, alcohol, but just cut it off. And not
Yes.
every some people have to have like me go cold turkey. A lot of people have to gradually,
In
you know,
moderation.
yeah, that's not me. If me cut it off, me I cut it off. So like my doctor has said that she's been practicing for almost 30 years. She has never seen anybody just move from 15 on the scale of the diabetes to 4.4 in
Mm.
1 week. Because I just drastically not even seasoning. Where you season your food with, me not eat that none at all.
Yes.
So
Yes.
if me blend drinks now, like from the 1st of March, I started a 30-day green drink. So at work, me drink me drink this throughout the day.
Yeah.
Well, I go to work at 6, so between 6 to 12, I only drink this,
Yes.
and 12, I have a bottle like this of green juice. So it's like
Yes.
kale and spinach.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do that for the next 30 days and see how things are.
Well, let's look at what a couple of purpose persons are saying. Like Michelle is here, balance and wellness. Bishop, big up Michelle. Veronica Tate saying you have to be intentional. Good evening, Veronica, and what she said as well. You can still enjoy those fruits, but in moderation. It's like myself when I was locked down, and what was my way of getting over the lockdown period was cake. Every 2 weeks, I go and buy fruit cake, big fruit cake from my lady friend, and it. I must say, I was talking to my wife about even the lockdown period. There was this we were on the motorway today, and it was a bit. There was a quietness about the lockdown period because you had to be just
Yes.
lockdown thing, and but yeah, I used to get the cake, man. And then when the doctor diagnosed me as pre-diabetic, I said, "Oh, sugar, mash up my dahlios, man. I couldn't even cake, fruit cake. I used to have fruit cake every 2 weeks."
But Sylbourne, say Vita and I were talking about the lockdown and
Yeah,
how the less that people say on social media
yeah,
and the less that in real life is day and night, right? So like I'm more of a introvert than people know,
yeah.
you know. So the lockdown wasn't anything strange to me, like to be away
Yeah.
from people or you know be isolated, or it was just perfect for me, because I've been living that way for a long time.
So you're a warrior on the keyboard. You want him called keyboard warrior.
Um, it's just that I can social media for me is where I can vomit out my intellect,
Yeah,
and so a mass of people can see it instead of you know you can't engage the amount of people that you
yeah,
engage on social media at one time.
yes,
It's hard to do that in real life.
yes,
So that was it. But I mean,
yeah. And light speaker said fructose is better than artificial sugar. Also, there's also sugar cane, but fructose is still there. And Veronica Tate also said cinnamon is a very, very good for diabetic. So just sprinkle it here. Actually, I love cinnamon because when I do my porridge, I started to drink porridge, I put a little cinnamon in it as well. There's two other things which I bought from forget from Holland Barrett, which I forget what the name, but which they say is good as well. So I guess we are learning. We have an alcohol for persons. This is a diabetic class. Cinnamon is also good for muscle recovery. Who need
to
muscle recovery? Go on, listen.
to light speaker and to Veronica,
Mm.
I don't drink processed things anymore. So tea and them something, me not drink none of them something anymore.
Yeah,
Because we kind of condition, so what have to drink tea or coffee. It's
yeah,
just a conditioning. You don't have to. People say for Belge, fruits give you the same the gas will build up in you overnight after your sleep. If you
Mm.
eat certain fruits, it make your belch same way. So you don't have to drink tea. And a lot of tea is processed because of they put preservatives in it to keep it long on the shelf and stuff like that. But I don't eat anything. The thing is that Silver, what I found out is that
Mm.
people think it's just type 1 and type 2 diabetes alone.
Mm.
You have many other. They found recently that there's fractions of the diabetes now. So you can have different type of diabetes under the type 2 and under the type 1 that
Mm.
a lot of people are not aware of. You know.
Yes.
So and so the same fructose and sucrose, although it's like there's a good sugar,
Yes.
you consume it, it affects your diabetes negatively also. You know,
Yes.
so a lot of people don't understand that. Yes, it is good, good sugar,
Mm.
but it still affect you negatively.
What is A1C? What is that? Is that something? A1C. Very
I
negative.
have
Very
no
negative.
idea.
A1C. Um, and Dion is there. Blessings.
I think 141 at the time when I checked it. Veronica, it was 141. It should be lower now, but them check it every 6 weeks or something like that.
Yes. Yeah. Michelle Clark said, yes, listen, me as well. I'm an introvert myself. I still like we are still on lockdown.
No, just
Uh,
still live.
yeah. I
Yeah.
must, what, when I do my green juice, I'll add apple to it. Yeah.
Yes, yes, as a
Yeah.
sweetener, yes.
I'm struggling today because I've not had coffee. I'm not an addict. I love her. She doesn't love me, but I need her. I.e., coffee. That is light speaker. He's talking about coffee, Lester. He loves her. Coffee. you know?
Coffee,
Um,
coffee loves her also.
coffee loves her. You know? But anyway, thanks for that brief class on diabetic and eating properly, because I believe it is very important that we eat properly, and the exercise is good because, as I said, there's in the lockdown period, which what I really did enjoy, as you know, was the going out in the park and
Yeah,
just being able to have that freedom. And the funny thing, when you go into a big massive park, you find yourself walk a lot, and it actually
yeah,
helps you with your weight at the same time,
yeah,
and then it helps your mind, because during the lockdown period I do recall seeing people sometimes walking in the park and sometimes they head down and people look depressed, and I've had a couple of incidents where I met a couple of people and got to talk to them in the park just coincidentally, and I was blurting out their life you
yeah,
know and then the dogs them running after you sometime, and you have to try to walk with a stick and say, yeah, beat up them backside, until
yeah,
So so the lockdown thing was really, it has its plus, even though it has its negative, and now with the Prime Minister of the UK, Rishi Sunak, and the former Health Secretary Matt Hancock, there's a revelation of a lot of the WhatsApp messages which was going on that time, because
yeah.
Matt Hancock, I don't know how this lady got it. Maybe he gave it to her for his biography and the whole thing with the lockdown with Boris. So all of a sudden we are more talking back again about lockdown, and all of a sudden we're talking also again about Brexit. And that's why I say the more things change, the more they remain the same.
Yeah.
You know?
You see, with all these things, Silver, you know what I always
Mm.
say? The first thing, and when you're immersed in law, when you're immersed in business to a certain level and a certain time period, and when you're immersed in politics, you always follow the money. These things are not just arbitrary things or just for the best, as you asked, for the best interest. It is always follow the money, because somebody usually is benefiting from all these changes, all these things. You know, I mean, England must know why they think that it is most beneficial for them to leave the EU, or to have Brexit.
Mm.
There has to be some financial gain for a group of people doing that. Pushing the vaccine, talking about the lockdown. It
Mm.
is beneficial to somebody.
And that brings the whole point now, as you say, beneficiary to someone, because it is like a lot of the decisions which have been made by government leaders and these persons in the Caribbean also. Nigeria is a classic example, which we just touched on briefly. It is like these leaders will last maybe 4 or 5 years, but they make some fundamental decision that will affect people in the long term and beyond, even as well. Because like with the Brexit factor now, the the UK, what was very interesting about the Prime Minister of I actually played. I actually played because this was very interesting. I played it Thursday night, but I'm gonna look for it and actually play it because the Prime Minister said something that got everybody backs up against the wall. And the people, where is it? I can't, where is it? They got their back up against the wall. Yeah, I'm gonna find it because he said something which is very, very profound. And what he said was so profound that the Brexiters are saying, hang on a second, and Remainers are actually saying, what's going on? Let me see if I can find it. When was Thursday? Thursday. What
There
was
was a
the
second.
second? Yeah, okay, here it is. Here it is. Let me play it.
Drive growth, to drive investment, and that's one way for us to think about doing it. I think the other thing to say is, because you talked about Northern Ireland, that is the prize that is on offer. Because if we get this right, if we get this framework implemented, if we get the executive back up and running here, Northern Ireland is in the unbelievably special position, unique position in the entire world, European continent, in having privileged access, not just to the UK home market, which is enormous, 5th biggest in the world, but also the European Union single market. Nobody else has that. No one. Only you guys. Only here.
Okay, what did you pick up from what he said?
Follow the money.
Why the Brexiters are having a hard time and the Remainers are having a hard time now is that what he has said is that the best place Northern Ireland can be is where they are now. Access to the UK market and access to the EU market. And then the Brexiters actually pulled out of the EU to make themselves in a better position. But actually, he's saying Northern Ireland, you're in the best place, unbelievable best place in the world because you got access to the two world where the UK was.
Yeah. It's always just even before I came on a few minutes, I was watching. It was this lady. She was talking in the, I don't know if it's the EU Parliament or was the British Parliament. And she was talking about the monies that the EU is giving to
Ukraine.
Ukraine, right? And so it's not a grant, it's not a gift, are loans, and the loans come with conditions. So
Mm,
on one hand, the EU is giving Ukraine billions and billions of dollars. But on
yeah.
the other hand, now you have Russia destroying Ukraine,
Mm,
and these monies have to be payable either by trade, by cash, or by land. So Ukraine is not going to be in any shape or form in the next 20 years a better place
or to be
because
somewhat deemed to be very independent then in a sense.
it would not by just the money that they're getting, and what Zelensky is doing to the political landscape and to the economy, you know,
Mm.
um, it'll be a third world country.
So is that somewhat of a similarity with Jamaica as well, whereby ganja they say is being imported into Jamaica. We got to follow the money as well.
It's two different variations. Like um, first of all, before we go further, why is it a bad thing?
What's a bad thing?
Why Jamaica importing ganja is a bad thing?
I actually one of the first things that I said when I was actually talking about it, I said I find it very strange for a country. which for years is in the ganja trade illegally, and many people get arrested and many people get shut down because of being in the trade. And over the years, the medicinal importance of it started to come out. And then one
Yeah,
would think that Jamaica would be on the front line of this whole
yeah,
thing, and Jamaicans and the
yeah,
Jamaican farmers would be on the front line of it. So therefore, one would say that empowering the Jamaican people or the Jamaican farmers would be priority. However, what I said is that the Jamaican government must know something as to why this took place, because it's a license. Instead of jumping at it and say we're importing droves of marijuana into Jamaica, what is the rationale behind it? And that's the key point. I always try to figure out what is actually the government actually saying. And so I cannot say it's a bad thing unless I understand why it is being imported. I don't know if you have something else you can say.
all right. I had a lengthy discussion with Street Vibes and Joseph about this, and I was just on Instagram to argue with some people about it. You
Mm.
see, I'm not defending the Jamaica Labour Party's decision, right?
Hold on. Is it a Labour Party decision or it's a government decision? I think that is something we need to specify now. We keep saying a Labour Party decision. Let's say it's a government decision.
Yeah,
I'm gonna delve into this a bit further about saying it's government.
it's a government decision.
Yeah,
So I'm not
government.
defending the government decision.
Yes.
What I'm doing is going to give people um going to give people a view of things. Now we grow onions in Jamaica.
Mm.
We grow scallion, we grow all different type of potatoes, everything,
Mm.
oranges, and we have milk production. We have water. We import all these things, carrot, everything, right? But we also export all these things. Also, we export Canada, mangoes to Canada also.
Mm.
Now Canada grow mango also,
Yeah.
right? Now Canada also has a weed industry there, huge weed industry. And Canada have a trade agreement, a free trade agreement between themselves and Jamaica. So is it that because we so-called have the best weed, which is not true, but we have the good ganja in Jamaica? So must it be that we have access to the Canadian weed market, but Canada in the same trade agreement should not
Should
have
not.
access to our weed market?
Mm. So
That,
what you're
that's a
talking about, is liberalization in a sense,
yes. But
which
but
is
but but but, but what I'm saying is that weed is just another product like anything else we will grow. It's not a special thing.
yeah.
It's not special more than mango. It's not special more than the thing is that it was illegal,
Yeah.
right? No, it is still illegal, but for medical marijuana use or recreation use, there are special license grant to the decriminalization of it and the export of it and the growing of it in certain in the sector, right? But you go through a process.
Mm.
Many of the local farmers are arguing that it's a slap in the face, that it's that they don't have access to the Canadian market. Now the thing is, Canada Canada have certain restrictions or certain guidelines when importing anything at all, especially things of consumption.
Mm.
They have guidelines. The UK have the same guidelines, the Netherlands same guidelines, Jamaica have the same guidelines.
Yeah.
Right? Now, if you are processing product for consumption, for human consumption, and Canada said, listen, these are the 10 things you have to have. Not 9, not 7, not 8, not 9.5, these 10 things, or you won't have access to our market. You cannot then say Canada is being unfair,
Mm.
You have to then go to your government and say, listen, Canada, I think Canada rules are too stringent, right?
Yeah.
Have some dialogue because see how we can, you know,
Yeah.
balance the play field. So our government defendants say, okay, you know what
Yeah.
we're gonna do? We're gonna put the same restrictions that Canada have to make sure say For them restrictions is our restrictions too, right?
Uh,
And we level the playing field. But we cannot want to have a one-way trade agreement with any partner. It makes no sense.
yeah, I think what I'm picking up from people, at the same time, there's a lot of people who are making noise without understanding it. And as I said without understanding it, I said based on what I'm hearing, 'cause I don't know the facts. There's always something that you don't know. And what they're actually saying is that if it is the license is given to import marijuana from Canada, and it is going to be in droves, and it's going to offset the Jamaican market or the Jamaican marijuana growers, then that is not a lucrative or not. That's not in the best interest of Jamaicans, because you see, what I want us to look at is you want to empower your people. You want to empower your people. You want to get them a leg up. You know, I think the thumb or the knee has been on the neck of black people for a long time, from slavery days, and even with the whole marijuana bit, when that started coming, enough people also been trying to get licensed. Even somebody been trying to get licensed, and that's been very difficult. But the big guys them can get licensed very easily, and then you wonder at the same time why are they getting, or the small guys them getting the pittance or having a hard time to empower themselves to step up to the top plate, and then the big guys them can come in. So I'm not knocking liberalization or capitalism because I'm a capitalist, right? But what I'm saying is that it all depends on the end result of this move. Is the end result something whereby the door is going to open and a floodgate in a very, at this time where it is very sensitive, or is it just for medicinal purpose or just testing it out, as they say?
The license is a one-time deal for now, right? So it's not a continuous thing for now, right? But Sylbourne,
Yeah.
I understand your line of your train of thought.
Mm.
What I'm going to say is that the big man getting the license goes right across the board in Jamaica, in the UK, in the
Yeah.
US, in every country. It's not something strange.
Mm.
We grow carrot. We have some of the best carrots in Jamaica, right? In the world. We grow ginger. We grow turmeric. We grow so many things. We
Yeah.
import more carrot than we grow
Why is that?
because it's cheaper.
That's the thing, because the preferential treatment those guys get overseas, and they get massive subsidy, and
Yeah,
therefore the guys them here find it not lucrative in actually expounding on that, because the hotels will not buy it from them because it's more expensive, isn't it? Is that what you're saying? So they
yeah,
rather get it overseas.
yeah.
So so
But
so, so
but what
where's the problem there? Where's the problem there? Is there a problem there, or follow the money?
yes, but one of the thing is that we're the association, right? Our farmers are persons forming associations. You see, one of the things, is that when you look in countries like the UK, the Netherlands, Belgium, Norway, the USA, right? You don't have a single man come and a shout and a ball out.
Yeah.
You have an association. So the lawyers of these association or the representatives of these association are powerful, and then they donate um to politics. They pay taxes. We don't have that type of culture. So the big man who do donate to politics, who do pay heavy taxes, who do heavy investment, them all get the preferential treatment. Them all get the things them done because they are playing the system how it is to be played, and you can't wrong them for that. You are the one, the small man, have numbers come together and be a force to recommend, be an association. Then you will get things done. But everybody want to be the individual king. It's not gonna work like that.
So therefore it is very important then, whether it is persons who are seeking political office or persons who are seeking the best interests of Jamaica and Jamaicans, is to somewhat educate the persons or educate individuals to work strategically together. Because if they don't work strategically together, they're going to always have pittance. It just
Jamaica,
is it similar to the coffee farmers with Norman Washington Grant? they're trying to build something there at the same time. Even though you got smaller farmers, but they are pulling together in a way with a coffee
Yeah.
trade.
Yeah.
So therefore, this, you see, this is it, Lester. Who is actually educating the mass, educating the people to move beyond the political scenario and see what is in the best interest of Jamaicans, these farmers, these coffee farmers, not coffee farmers, these carrot guys, them, these whatever people them to pull together. Eh,
Sylbourne,
mm.
yeah, I gotta talk frank, right?
What about Peter?
And
Why all white people go for Frank? I don't go nobody go for Peter. Go on.
Frank, Frank is always down, so they keep him down, Um, no, me gotta just be real, and a lot of people might not like what I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Jamaican people no want nothing good,
Mm.
Damian Crawford, very good friend of mine, right? Damian Crawford had one of the best ideas and best
Solution.
implementation when he was a member of parliament in East Rural St. Andrew. That's where Juliet Holness is now MP.
Yes.
He was pushing education in the constituency. He
Mm.
spent most of his constituency development fund trying to educate children in the constituency, right?
Mm.
Now, he has been a beneficiary of education. That's why he is doing so well. So as a ghetto youth, him see it within himself and him say, if education has empowered me and enriching me, right? I can also do the same for many other Jamaican, different disenfranchised Jamaicans to educate them, to empower them and enriching them. Because generally you can't just work your way to wealth. You understand me? Just on a regular basis. I've never seen a rich conductor. I've never seen a rich taxi man. They're always struggling. They're always keep working poor, And because most of these guys don't have a formal education, right? So because thinking your way out of a problem is how you create wealth. Now, he wanted to do that. The people of East Rural St. Andrew,
I do recall. I do recall. Yeah.
and protest and say, picnic can't vote and education can't eat.
They want money.
And it was a sentiment, it is a sentiment echoed from the 70s. It's a sentiment echoed. Jamaican people don't want nothing good.
So therefore, Lester, I hear what you said, and you crossed the board with it. You made a very general and very poignant statement. That is due to lack of education. And that education has been lacking for years. And it's not like just a formal education, it's about the inspiration and the motivation of the leadership. Leadership is one thing, I say, but I always say that at the same time, leadership can't hold such amount of people, up to 3 million people in a country. And therefore, who is good? Okay, Damien Crawford had a brilliant idea. And I hope that the message and the continuous flow of it will continue, because it will finally psychologically get into the minds of the people. So therefore, my philosophy is that it's an education thing. And I know we talk about it a lot, but it's an education thing to empower the mass to think. Because if not, they're going to find themselves in this rut. And then you have to ask yourself the question, why do some go through and some don't? And yet even some of them come from in the same areas and they go through and some don't. And how do we break the cycle of that? Because if we don't break that cycle, it's going to be a continuous rotation, and it's going to be a continuous legacy from children and the children and the children.
All right. I have been exposed to a lot of people don't know. I was born in a middle class, family. Father was a prominent businessman, born comes to car, telephone, not out, everything, the late 70s, right?
Yeah.
And me choose to go live a ghetto. You understand me?
Yeah.
When I lived there for years, I realized something, that It is not for the. This is not for the lack of.
Is
Puerto
that
Rico looks very nice. Puerto Rico looks very nice.
that's outrageous, Lester?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not for the lack of resources or opportunity of education or trade that is in these poor and depressed communities. There's an abundance of opportunities, regardless of what people want to say. There's an
Yeah.
abundance of trade areas, trade schools, right? At minimal cost or at zero cost. What I realize it is the process.
Mm,
You went to law school and it
mm,
took you a number of years to finish, and then you still have to sit the bar, and there's a process, and you
mm.
have to continue to upgrade yourself by reading, and it's a continuous process.
At a three at a 2 hour training this week. Last week.
Exactly. Now, what I've noticed is that when, even though with the schools in the community where you can walk, you have to pay bus fare, then give you meals, them give you a stipend to sit and do a course for a year or 2 years. The people think that it is too long, and they want, so the gravy and the end result, they want it now without going through the process.
Mm.
That type of mindset. So somebody said, why can't bother go school now? Money me want to work
A call coming in for you? Yeah. Mm,
is a work me want.
yeah.
What what type of job you gonna get unskilled that will give you remuneration that will take you out of your current situation?
And give you a
So
quality of lifestyle. Mm,
exactly, right? Also, over the years, how certain things was marketed. Now, I have a friend, Michael Affleck. He went to Norman Manley high school, right?
mm,
Not a prominent high school. He went and did electrical studies, and he did air condition, technician. Now, Michael was working with a company. The boss of the company saw something in him and started giving him some extra work, after books and things, and send him for some job. I said, well, all right, you wanna 70-30. You take 70 and give me 30 of the jobs,
mm,
30% of the jobs. Michael made so much money on these side jobs that he started his own company. And the
mm,
boss even helped him. Say, all right, yeah, do your thing, go and go do your thing.
mm,
Michael has about 3 or 4 houses now,
mm.
right, in Jamaica, doing really well. But what I'm saying is that I've never heard somebody say, more to be an air conditioning technician. Yeah, something with them buck up, You understand me, Sylbourne? I've never heard somebody say, more to be a mechanic, really. It's something where them just happen into.
Mm.
So a lot of people was taught from from our grandmother's age time that working with your hands and doing dirty work or skilled work, right, is beneath. It is not something of affluence. It's not something that you should aspire to be career
Yeah.
wise.
Mm.
My daughter married an attorney, but when you say your daughter married a farmer or your daughter married a mechanic, a dirty mechanic,
Mm.
right? And the lawyer can't fix him car, The lawyer have to carry the car to a mechanic. So
Yeah.
imagine 20 mechanic for the week bring the cars to the 20 lawyers bring the car to the one mechanic.
Mm.
This mechanic is making money from 20 individuals,
Yeah.
you know. So and so what you see is the grandeur of the lawyer, of the doctor, but you don't see the praises and the grandeur of the mechanic or the AC technicians. Their praises are not sung. So
Yeah.
what happened is that they must say people don't know. They don't know that I can be a mechanic and be very successful.
It's what is boiling down to is the mindset at the same time, because even what Veronica Tate is talking about, this guy from Australia, I saw the video there. setting a farm in Jamaica as well. I think it is just like when Jamaicans go overseas, for argument's sake. Jamaicans go overseas with a immigrant mentality, and the immigrant mentality is to take over. I call it immigrant mentality is to take over, whereby you don't see white supremacy as everybody else see from those countries, or what a white man are doing. You're trying to just get where you can get and get out and survive, and you're ready to take over. So you don't see much of the problems that many people see.
No.
And it's a mindset thing. So therefore, Jamaicans go overseas and they excel. Jamaicans back home, are we trying to say that they're not excelling in a way because somehow I don't know what it is, Lester, but I keep saying this, that it's the leadership cannot be blamed totally, but the leadership is a part of the problem. And when I say the leadership, I'm talking about the leaders in Jamaica in a way is not empowering the people as much with education. That's like what you say right there. That's like what you say right there. Are those information going out there? People can understand these things. Listen, you guys have a farm. Come, let's all get. Are they creating farms? You're gonna say yes because the heart program and all those sort of things that is there for people, and people can actually tap into that. But how can we break through the cycle of where we are now, and get the average man to be empowered? And that is why I always talk about the 1962, And when people always say, the 1962 bit, whereby when the Queen left the UK, and Queen left Jamaica, and became a republic. I keep saying the land, that was the first reparation. The land should have been given over to the people of Jamaica to give them a leg up and empower them. But guess what? They were back again in that same sphere, in the same field, with the bourgeoisies and the land being controlled and the knee still up on the neck of the black people, and they never had anything. And while at the same time, the white man came back to the UK and they get enough money that even the same black people going back over foreign helped pay it off in 2015. Anyway.
Let me respond partly to that.
Yeah.
You can't give somebody a valuable value, right? Valuable something, or you can't give somebody something that's valuable and they don't know that it's valuable.
Yeah.
Right? You're just wasting the value that you gave them. Michael Manley, and I was speaking to a JLP counselor today, and we were talking about Manley. And, Manley, for the most part, cared about Jamaicans. I think Manley's execution was poor, just like Damien Crawford. His execution was poor, but they care about Jamaicans. Manley gave a lot of people land, right? Between 1972 to 1980, Manley gave a lot of Jamaicans land, but he not give them a title.
Yeah.
Right? So it don't make sense to give them land. Andrew Michael Holness is now going around the country, right, giving people title for the first time in 40 years or 50 years on land that Manley gave them. So these people could not capitalize on the land in terms of say, hey, I can use this land now as collateral. They couldn't do anything with the land. Even if them farmed the land, right? Or they wanted to do certain things formal, they couldn't do anything formal with them because they had no deed to say, hey, this is my property, I got this property, it's legal, blah 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 blah. You can't do nothing. So giving people the land, as you suggest, after 1962, right, would not help if they don't know what to do with the land.
And Lester, and this is where I'm talking about education. Leadership is there to empower and to educate, and people are to be guided and to be inspired and to be motivated. Hold a second. Some got land, bourgeoisie got land, and they were able to move and maneuver with it. Even God got land. UDC and all those places got land. You understand what I'm trying to, and they're able to maneuver with it. So therefore, my thinking is this. I think I think we have to go all the way back.
A lot of people don't know what they say a while ago, you know.
I know.
Big up Mr. Lawrence. Big up Mr. Lawrence.
A few people knowledgeable understand that.
That fly over a lot of people in a while ago, Sylbourne.
Yeah.
But Sylbourne, let me say something to you. You can't educate somebody who is not in front of you. Right? You cannot. So let me give an example of what happened a lot of times. And I said this last week, when the toll road was being talked about and you have town hall meetings, they don't show up.
Yes.
Right? So even if you have something to educate persons about, and you say, boy, all right, we're gonna have the meeting at 5 o'clock, or we're gonna have the meeting at 7 o'clock, right? And 10 person out of a 5,000 member resident community show up, right? And that's 10 people are gonna hear. Because the problem is not them don't show up. Light speaker.
Yeah, what is it? What are you drinking? Coffee? Or you not getting no coffee?
It's finished now. No, I'm out of coffee. It's pre-workout. So I was doing a run club the other day, and they were giving out free. They were taking photos of this big company. They were giving out free drinks. So
yeah, we have a little distortion, but let me hear what your thought pattern is, sir.
Yeah. So I mean, on the education thing, I don't really know. I haven't even been to Jamaica yet. I've got my grandmother is from Jamaica. Her step-husband was from Antigua. The person she had kids was from Jamaica, and the same thing on my mom's side, Jamaicans. And I found that it's funny. My grandmother, she got a degree in English literature in the 50s from Birkbeck University. And she took me there, and actually, so I was right in the corner, and I'm still planning to do a teaching degree at UCL, which is kind of funny because that's the first university I went to was Birkbeck. She took me there. She taught me how to
light speaker. What are you using? What are you using to speak with? We're getting serious.
One second.
Yeah.
Maybe if you put in him headphone or something, or change him location or something.
Yeah. You're not using Digicel, are you?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Is that better?
Go on, talk.
Go on, keep
I can hear that. Yeah. So yeah, she taught me how to write the address on the envelope. She read through the first book I ever saw, which was a book about Booker T. Washington, I think. But then my uncle on my mother's side had a book about Toussaint Louverture in the Haitian Revolution, which is where I was going to go. But he kept that in his room. But he wrote a book later on, but he kept that in his room, never read it much. And that was the very first book I read in my first month of my first year of university, was about the Haitian Revolution. And what I find interesting about that is that Toussaint Louverture, his slave masters gave him books to read. And one of the books that he loved was the book about war. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you. A book called War. Yeah.
So his slave masters loved Toussaint, from what I remember, and he loved to read about war, and they didn't stop him from reading about that. And he was the one who led the Haitian Revolution. And so I don't know about the whole Jamaican culture. I haven't been there. My family's from Jamaica, both sides, as I said. But I just find it. I don't know what I was going with that, but it's a detriment to Jamaicans. Just to be all about money, not know that like there's so much more. Like the money comes, money is a byproduct of being able to make money, which comes from education. Like Kanye said, it's not. Kanye said, "Wait till I get my money right." And for me, like that's not about having the money; it's about getting your money right. So you can have the money, but then what do you do with the money? Do you know what I'm saying? It's like this whole lack of education doesn't make any sense to me. But that's
All right, let's take up in there. Sorry, let's take a pin there, and I'm just going to mute you briefly, light speaker. Those on Instagram, thank you for joining, and those on Facebook and YouTube, Instagram, if you can come over onto YouTube, that'd be great. Thomas, somebody said Thomas in Instagram said the main reason why we are where we are today is because we don't work together like other nationality, and some of us struggle to trust one another. Now, when I hear what Mr. Thomas said right there, it is similar to what we hear a lot. And I've been hearing that from gotta wear khaki trousers, short pants actually. You know, people always say that thing about that we don't work together. When at the same time I realize that we still work together.
Sylbourne,
Yeah.
Thomas should be a little bit more elaborative.
Yeah.
There's a different.
If you can come over onto YouTube, Thomas, that'd be great. Yeah. I'll send the link. Yeah, go on.
There's a disconnect sometimes where people forget that we are the only race that went through a particular event and it destroyed our trust in each other. Right? Now, it is hard to don't ask a set of people to say, hey, just forget about 500 years of anarchy that was laid upon your backs, and 500 years of brainwashing and 500 years of trauma, and let's work together. The Indians never went through that. The Chinese never went through that. The whites never went through that, right? So these cultures, it is easier for them to come together and form associations and work together because they don't have that mistrust amongst themselves. Even though in India, you have different levels of people who they don't like each other and stuff like that. But even within these levels, they work together. We have Jamaica, and I was saying it to Vita yesterday. I said, in Jamaica, we were killing at least 4-1 or 7-1, right? Than the Iraqi war and the Afghan war combined. Without a civil war in Jamaica, we're killing more people than active war zones. So that means that even within Jamaica, we cannot get along. So all them expect all of the black people in the world to get along. What we need to do is really address. There's some fundamental issues that we have to address, where like, how can we teach Jamaicans in schools, right, that Jamaica is a place where you can develop and have actual interest in it? We're not taught that sense of, it's like how Americans have this American pride and I'm American, and have that Jamaican thing that all is Olympics. We have to start teach Jamaicanness, right? When my son said to me at age 13 or age 14, I say, who Marcus Garvey is? He say, yeah, the fat black man.
Yeah.
We should beat him.
Yes.
But because in his mind, him shouldn't even say that. You understand me, Sylbourne? No, there's no civic and social and cultural pride being taught. There's none of that being taught. So how can we get along if we don't love each other, if we don't know if we love each other?
So therefore, we're back again to that whole point, as the point Light Speaker and you both agreed on, that the Asians didn't go through it as like that, the whites didn't go through it like that, the Indians didn't go through it like that, the Jews didn't go through it like that, because they were all bonding together while they were going through what they were going. So what did black people go through? Was it that we were selling off each other? What was it that black people went through?
Yeah, so I mean, so yeah, Asians didn't go through that, but then I think it was my headphones. I think I misheard you, but I didn't realize you said Asians, not Haitians. I mean, the Haitians, as I go back to Son, like they had arguments in their leadership. Toussaint had an argument with a guy named Les Destain or something like that. But somehow they still got together and kicked the mustard out of Haiti. Somehow they still had that goal. And I say that to say that black people, I don't know if we're free or if we're not free, but we're not at the place that we should be, considering where we've come from and where where we are now and the resources that we have now.
You see,
and
yeah, you see, Bernacle Tate said, when I say what did black people go through? Slavery. The Jews went through the Holocaust. What created the mistrust? Let's break it down. What created the mistrust in slavery? What is that mistrust then? Is it the mistrust?
So what you're saying, what you're alluding to is the fact that you had the house Negroes, you had the field Negroes, you had the different systems, and then you have, like, even what we have today, you have people being given deals, you know, and then selling off each other, like with the movie The Woman King that happened. And so, yeah, it was that divine conquer, which I know there's a psychological thing that we're gonna need time to get over. But then I go back to, and some people are they're slaves in their mind. But we go back to that saying, the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
You see,
but okay.
well, listen.
Now you have like a royal family from, say, Mali, right? And you have some peasants from Ghana, and you have peasants from the Congo, and then you have from Sierra Leone, you have like the royal family. When Europeans group up all them people together, cause all them are black people, but there's hierarchy. But when you group up all of them together, remember, say, me as a royal person, right? Now go on for think that I should not be beside light speaker as a peasant, you know. And whereas if my country was doing well and better, and I had a good army and a good system in my country, right? I will know that we used to take people from your country as servants.
Yeah,
that's what you are. So that's how the mindset is, you know. Even before Europeans came there, right? Black people wasn't kumbaya and get together, you know. And then a lot of them didn't even know each other, because a lot of them weren't even going to other countries first, because Africa is big. But when a group of all of them put together now, you have all these different social classes, all these different political classes, all the different issues. And then when you have the light skinned black people then, right? Because a lot of people think that it's just Europeans make the light skin color. No, we had light skinned people in Africa long before Europeans.
African, South Africa especially.
No, well, the Dutch go to South Africa and create the Africans. But anyway, but what I'm saying that we had like in Tanzania and these places, they have a lot of light skinned people there, you know, long before Europeans, hundreds of years before you. What I'm saying is that, so you have the plantation, and then you have the light skinned people are working at the house, right? And then so it's like them look better, them dress better, them they get to read, them get a little bit of education, they get a little more privilege. There's going to be a disconnect between the one in the field and the one in the house, you know. So when the one in the house have to come back in the evening now to the plantation, to the slavery homes, right? Or because you're working in the slave master like you feel better than, and so you have that constant the combative thing.
So that was a mistrust factor then.
Exactly. And
Yeah,
but actually, William syndrome work very well also.
Okay.
So my thing is this. That's, and I wrote this in the comments. Like, Sylbourne, you were saying, if someone wants the betterment of Jamaica, and then I would say, okay, what's the antithesis of that? Some people do not want the betterment of Jamaica. And for me, those people who do not want the betterment of Jamaica are those people who see themselves, even if they are in a different class, they see themselves as more aligned with the master than the people themselves. So like Nat Turner, he was a preacher. He was very much liked by his masters, but he saw what his people were going through, and that changed his perspective. Well, it didn't change his perspective. There was a time when he was like, "No, we have to do something." So for me, it's not really a thing about, you know, as Lester said, yeah, your house, you're very privileged, but at the same time, even though you're lighter, you're still a nigger.
Well, okay, well, that kind of, thank you. That kind of say, Black Race Cold Chest said, yes, Dr. Blocking God is correct, Black people cannot trust each other. So we must construct a system and trust the system. We cannot trust each other, but we must construct a system to trust the system. And he went further by saying the solution for Jamaica is reparation nation. But when I hear about reparation nation, it is like when sometimes you need to trust yourself with £10 to save. If you can't save the 10% of the £10, how are you going to save the 10% of £1,000 of the £100,000? If you can't trust each other. So the big question is, how can we teach our people to start to trust each other, starting to work with each other without having a reparation, without having certain things? Because I think that's one of the key stumbling block, as we have found out. How can a people can be hoodwinked in a certain way, whereby it's like they're just taken down for a ride, not knowing their power, not knowing that they can make a difference by doing certain things, by lobby. They can work together. Listen, man, a big farm out there, and a big land out there, and instead of we fighting each other, why don't we come together and plant tomatoes and plant carrot, and then we can lobby the government and say, stop bringing carrot into Jamaica, stop bringing no, listen. If you're moving together in a strategic way, in groups, in coordination, and have leaders there ahead, whether P or J, it must can work.
It can't work. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but regardless of how we come together and carrot for argument's sake, and we are produce carrot at a larger scale and cheaper than the imported carrots. Because of the trade agreement, we have to still import certain type of food, right? Because they won't take our export. That's the first thing, right? Now, secondly, we need aid and we need money from them, right? But we want aid and want money. I don't know about need, right? So, but the trade agreement comes in all of that. A lot of bilateral agreements are signed, but there are fine prints to the bilateral agreements and the trade agreements that the rest of the public don't know. What is necessary is that the Jamaican people to stop by the imported products. So if the imported products are not being sold, right, then we're gonna say, boy, listen, this are the thing. We can't take these products anymore because then they'll stand up on the shelf and spoil.
And I buy it.
Because people don't buy it. That's the only way you can stop it. But for lobby the government to stop it, them sign, a lot of people don't understand, them sign these bilateral agreements and trade agreements that literally, if you not take some or something, we not take your something.
Well, it's in the UK. Yeah, in the UK, there's Tropical. What's a company called? Tropical something that sell everything equivalent of Grace Food. Aki, them sell the same thing, but they call themselves Tropical Connection, Tropical whatever they call them.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know it.
And Jamaicans in the UK somehow, through a strong lobby factor, don't buy it. But guess what? It's still on the shelf, so somebody will buy it because it's still out there. You know. But I know that a lot of people are not buying it. So therefore, what you're saying then is, still it is an education thing to the people, but they're not getting the Apple and all of those expensive things coming from overseas are not bought by the poor man again at the same time, isn't it?
Exactly.
So therefore, it is being bought by people who are Americanized, because Jamaica has become Americanized in a way.
Yeah, but Sylbourne, just like on this program, we educate a lot of people about a lot of things.
Yes.
Remember when I mentioned that there's 7 African nations that produce cars.
Yes.
So many comments came out that they never know that Africa produce cars.
Yes.
Right. And the thing is that our education system still have British roots in it, like the GCE and the CXC and the CSSE and all of that, right? What the first thing we need to do is have a Jamaican education system, right? We need to look at the landscape of Jamaica and say, how best can we educate the masses? How best we can educate the people of Jamaica that it is reflective and beneficiary to the Jamaican landscape?
Yeah.
You cannot have school like, say, for example, Otrius High or St. Anne's Bay High or, Trenchtown High teaching physics and chemistry and them something there. And when you look on the pass rate of these, it's 3% and 2%. It don't make sense to teach them something there.
Mm.
You understand me? You have to teach something that will resonate and that will build Jamaica. Because if you're not getting, right, at least 80 or 90% passes in these subjects, it makes no sense you waste 40 minutes, right, 2 or 3 times a week teaching this subject to only for the whole school population of 2,000. You have 3% passes in that. We have to start them something there.
Yeah.
We have to start them something there.
I
Why is
quite agree with
it
that.
a second language? Jamaica is beside Cuba, we're beside Haiti, we're beside Dominican Republic, we're beside Latin America, and we don't speak Spanish.
Yeah. Trust is lacking, Veronica Tate said, and we are a set of people who don't happy to see each other success or succeed. Is that correct? I'm happy to see you succeed, Lester. I'm happy to see. Okay, let's break it down. I'm happy to see Light Speaker succeed. I'm happy to see Lester succeed. I'm happy to see everybody else succeed. Can we make that statement that we are not happy to see each other succeed?
It's a broad statement.
It's a broad statement. And I think I think we have got to also, those who like to see each other succeed should start to say, I like to see each other succeed, instead of saying we don't like to see each other succeed. And
I think it's a broad statement. I think it's a broad statement as well. I think, but my thing is my thinking about that is this. It's like we've spoken about it a few times. It's Nehemiah. So it's a war thing. For me, it's a war thing. And if I can see my brother, and I'm talking about black, but for this show, Jamaican, definitely. If I can see my brother is a brick. I'm a brick. We're building a wall. If I can see my brother my brick be strong, just like this brick be strong, and we can build strong bricks, then we can have a strong wall. If we can have a strong wall, we can have a strong fortress, and we can have a land bank and whatever. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the greatest solution. Go on, Lester. Go on, Lester.
To respond to that, it's just like the situation with the bad fathers, then, right?
Yeah.
You hear bad fathers get promoted more than the good father, right? But you want a good father out there. You have a lot of good fathers out there, but the bad fathers get promoted more.
Going about their business, doing what they do, and
exactly
that is normal, because
normal people.
Yeah, like my virgin. Like I was gonna say the other day, I was gonna start. A few years ago, I was gonna say start promoting black fathers, and I said, like my virgin Junior, he's at his home. We go to the gym. He's have his 3 children, his wife, going about his business. Good father. Cargill down the road there, sir. Jamaican guy again.
It's not sexy. It's not sexy, though. That's the thing.
Going about his business.
Exactly.
Going about his business, taking care of his children. I'm stubborn. I'm a conservative, but yet I have a black wife, straight from Ocherius.
Yeah.
And I love and I have 2 kids. It doesn't fit the narrative.
Yeah,
no,
it's not sexy.
It doesn't fit the narrative.
It don't make music boring.
Yeah.
You know, so I like with me, a lot of people are quick to talk about the 2013 documentary that I did, and talk about how me beat my son. You know,
we need to do a show on that one day. But go on, keep talking.
Yeah, but we talk about it openly. Me time up and beat him. You understand me? I don't care what nobody want to say. Me can pick up the phone right now, like I'm going to do this morning, and spend 2.5 hours and talk to my son. I have many friends my age who cannot pick up the phone and talk to their children because them son them dead. Dead. And people don't understand that. Right? So what happened now is that when Veronica said that we don't like to see each other succeed, that's not true.
She said she stands to
see,
be corrected. Yeah.
yeah, I we're not we talk, you know. So
Yeah.
people free for make comments and we can disagree or agree. You know, it's an open conversation. What I have seen is that say somebody say a young girl, you know, she study and she work hard and she come from some poor in the community and she start rise because she get an education, get a good job, you know, till she goes and she get a little license and she fix up her little one room in the yard and she buy a little small two-door car. The other girls them say, boy, Tanisha, I'm proud of you. I've heard that more than wanting to tear down Tanisha, you know? So, I mean, if what may happen is that somebody may say, Tanisha, come carry go there, sir. And she said, me not depend that today, you know. At this know the problem start where you want Tanisha to go here, there, and everywhere at her expense because you're not pay toll, you're not buy gas, you're not pay insurance to the car, but you want the services of somebody else's car. So that's where the issue may come now, where a person may be angry and damage Tanisha's car.
Bad mind.
You know? But yeah.
Like a Bogart said, bad mind.
Yeah, it become a thing. It become a thing now. You know, it become a thing, right? But also, you know what we love? What we love, it's something what we absolutely hate. Poor people forget this and poor people forget that and poor people and I will promote this poverty thing. Just like even when like you cannot go regardless of where you want to think, you cannot go and squat on somebody's property.
Yes.
Whether government or private.
Yes.
And think because your income level is lower than the person who you're squatting on. Even the land that the Eagle, as you say, Eagle land, it is still not your property. Because you wouldn't want somebody to say, Sylbourne have a nice car. Me not have a car. You have a license, but me not have a car. Sylbourne, you have a car, your wife have a car, your son have a car. Sharon can drive, you know, 3 car one time. 1 car can serve for the family. Why you have 3 car? And me come tea for a car. Right? Poor people forget, poor people have things. Why you want to have 3 car? So that mentality is a pandemic in Jamaica.
Yes.
Where people feel like say because they're poor, they're entitled to get something free. They're entitled to have certain things. No.
Yeah.
There's an opportunity for education. I've seen a report from the Chamber of Commerce or something today, where they're seriously contemplating importing labor. And I'm saying Jamaica have enough people to fill all of the position them. Does.
We spoke about that some time ago. Why they've been talking about importing the labor because they're finding the shortage, isn't it, Lester? Even though people are there. The people are there, but they're not the people are there, but they're not wanting to take the job. Is that what it is?
Yes.
Yes.
Call centers are paying very well now. And I've seen this week I've promoted some call center work, but the call center say no subjects required. We will train you.
Wow.
And let them beg people for come work.
Well, I'm looking for somewhere to go. So anyway.
well, you know, I definitely want to move from this and talk about the security guard sitting in Jamaica. It's not 130, but it shows clearly that there is we're back to the point. The more things change, the more they remain the same. But we need to change that remain the same and take it to a next level. Because as I said, I'm just tired of the sensational thing, because one can dissect the ganja business and find out who own it or blah blah blah. What's going to come out of that? One can dissect other things. What's going to come out of that? We got to look at the bigger picture, the deeper picture. Someone says here on Instagram, that's what British people done back in the days by take control of other countries. Okay, that's another point there.
I'm gonna go.
Sorry.
Yeah. I'm gonna. It's way past my bedtime. So.
Way past your bedtime, Reggie. We don't have bedtime. Reggie, we don't have bedtime.
I know. I feel like a kid again. It's so annoying. I'm walking.
Let's tell blogging gods so we don't do bedtime, man. Because I'll be out in the park in the morning, man. We don't do bedtime here. Blogging gods.
Oh man, it's like
really.
You wanna get some coffee?
I know that's what it is. You realize how many things. You realize I need coffee, but you realize how many things like what you did when you was a kid that actually are beneficial. I'm working like 3 hours sleep, like 2-3 days running now. Because I'm working at like 4 o'clock.
Yeah, we need to take it to Jamaica one day as well. Because you see, I haven't been to Jamaica yet.
I just wanted to drop this question before I go, though.
Please,
do you know, like with Nigerians and mainly like Nigerians, maybe other Africans, like they're, when you talk about the parents or when you hear the stories of like celebrities even, and or even like Koreans or Japanese in Asia, or Chinese, like, well, I know with Nigerians, when like a parent is asking like their child, what does the guy that you like do, or what do you want to do when you get older? The usual thing is, if it's not a doctor, a lawyer, or
engineer,
engineer, then they don't want to know about it. So why is that with the Nigerians and not with us?
Well, there's something also to note is that the Nigerians didn't go through I'm not trying to justify it, but I'm just going to say the distinction. They didn't go through the slave trade bit and the mindset like Caribbean people or maybe Americans or so. So they come from,
not as much. Britain occupied them, but not as much.
Yeah, Britain occupied them, but not as much. They were a colony, and I always find it strange how Nigeria was a colony in their own space, and they weren't taken out there. For Jamaicans, I don't know, but all I can say is this, and this is my thing: we just have to change the mindset, and we have to start maybe from the younger ones then, because I think many things went wrong, and I think in 1962 there was an opportunity to revolutionize the mindset, and there's an opportunity to help people get a leg up, but somehow we missed the mark, and it was the beginning of a scam, of a massive scamming or choppings there. However, I'm not the type of person that cry over spilled milk, and I will say we need to start the process, because just like how Leicester can maneuver, just like how you can maneuver, and just like I can maneuver, come from Jamaica and come to the UK, that shows that many of us can. We can, but we can always also find the reasons not to. We can always blame. And listen, it is like this. You can find an elephant in a molehill, and even though the elephant is not there.
Right.
You can find
anything.
anything.
We should have like a campaign. We should have like a campaign for 2024. Like, I was thinking of, do you know, when God in the Old Testament used to start things again? I don't know what that would look like for Jamaica, but like we need to have a line to say from 2024 you're going to school for either law, engineering, or
but at the same time, law, engineering,
brainwash Jamaicans.
Yeah, but at the same time, law, engineering, and those stuff like that, you're finding those guys who are plumbers who are making much money, the mechanic who are making much money now, because as Leicester set out that example recently. So the whole mindset actually has changed now, whereby even lawyers now, some of them are getting frustrated with the whole thing. And you see them demonstrate. So they're trying to get more money as well.
Okay, but apart from the money thing, like the whole self-improvement aspect of the workforce of Jamaica, do you think that they'll still benefit from those traditional kind of mindsets?
Well, the big question is, do we have the infrastructure at the same time for massive amount of engineers, unless we are going to produce those workers for importation, for exportation, produce lawyers for exportation, produce nurses for exportation. As far as I'm concerned, I see nothing wrong with that, because at the end of the day, the country will always be productive, because even if those people leave, they're going to keep giving back. But at the same time,
I'm here because of exportation.
I'm sorry, sir?
I'm here because of exportation. My grandparents, I wasn't born in Jamaica. My grandparents came here. My parents were born here. So, I haven't sent any money back yet, but I'm pretty sure that was the dream when my grandparents came here. I think they might have forgotten about that. Yes.
All right. Well, thanks.
We're going to find a girl at Jamaica, man. We're going to find a girl at Jamaica.
Leicester, unlike Brexit, My borders are open. I'm equal opportunities, Dodge.
Let's sort you. All right, then, live speaker. Take care, man.
Put this down. All
Take
right.
care. Yeah. Before we close off this one here, it is very clear though, Lester. Even the bits with the job stuff. I think the amount of talking which is done in Jamaica, and I don't care whichever party it is, I think it should lean towards empowerment and education and how people's life can be better instead of just blaming politicians. Because I tell you this, if you have a great, fantastic idea and you want to share it to the world, and even for the PNP, and it's a bloody good idea, very good. Somebody will say, "Oh, Lester, PNP man, don't listen to him." What? But at the same time, it's a very good thing. No, I may say something also, which is very good, but then from GLP people say, "Well, I'm gonna check out Sylbourne history, you know. Emmanuel link with the PNP, a PNP that." And then they marginalize the whole thing. So we've got to reach to a level whereby it's a hard talk, HERT, a hard talk, whereby we can actually find the good out of it and bring it together instead of politicizing it.
But Sylbourne,
Yeah.
remember, say Damian Crawford brought the idea of goat farming to Portland, right?
Yeah.
And them calling goat man and me and all kind of something. Yes, and goat dread and all kind of something. Damian Crawford has almost 800 head of goat right now, right? You're looking close to nearly about $50 million that's in it. You get what I'm saying? Remember, you know, is less than 3 years ago. Less than 3 years ago, he was running for that seat, right?
Yeah.
And him now have 800 goats, valued millions of dollars. Let's imagine if Portland people they take on to the ideas and say, but you know what? I go raise some goats, you know. Because in Jamaica it's a $2.2 billion industry, you know.
And get a seed in order to have a fish. No, in order to have a net. Get a seed in order to have a net and to grow the thing. So therefore, what it means then is that people like Damian Crawford should feel great about themselves at the same time, even though they lost a seat, but know that they're on a mission, a vision with a mission to empower people, and therefore they will realize how it will make their life much better, even though they vote out the politician or so because them not get the money in them hand, or the what do you call it, the jerk pork,
or they got the money in them hand.
Or they got the money in their hand, or so. Yeah. Oh, they got the money in their hand.
It's a double jeopardy. Them some don't get and some get.
Some don't get. Yeah.
So and the same result.
Yeah. Yeah. So therefore, I think we have the answer. It is the implementation, and like what you're doing there with the whole sharing of these jobs, sharing of these things. We got to keep doing it, and you know. Yeah, that's how I see it. But anyway, listen, this shooting of these two security guard there, I saw the video. I'm not gonna show it. And I saw Cliff Hughes was showing it so much the other day nationwide.
The one where actually get shot?
Yeah, I saw a police virgin of mine also sent me two of the parallel, like the woman getting shot and then the guy getting shot, and it's like they're saying it's like I was listening to the interview what even though you sent it to me as well, to say that they seemed to be trained, and maybe the company was shortchanging or not having enough security guys and cutting back. I don't know what you think of.
As you know, I've worked in the security industry for almost 20 years, and before I come a foreign, worked as Marine police. To see every time I see and hear a security officer being injured or tragically killed on the job, it's hard. It affects me, it saddens me, because I was one of them, you know.
Yeah.
And anything you do routinely, you get comfortable. And then you start to, once you get comfortable, you start to not follow the protocols, the steps to take to ensure that the process is as safe as possible. There's no process that is full safe. Now, the company, Beryllium, the officers, the first mistake they did was park faced in. Now, that's a comfort level, you know.
Yeah.
Now, people might say park face in, you have a park face out. The first thing. Now, the team was a 3-man team and not a 4 or 5-man team. So one person always stays in the vehicle.
Yeah.
Right? So one person is outside watching. One person goes and collect the money, and the next person that is the escort. So you have a person who will escort the person in or out.
Yeah.
You have the next person at the door or somewhere outside watching, and then the driver is in the vehicle. Always, no matter what, the driver can't go out of the vehicle. Right? So that whole process there was fall down. Right? So normally you have a 4 or 5-man team. So one should be across the road looking.
Making sure the coast is clear. Making sure the coast is clear, if anything.
Yeah. So if an attack is coming, him can advance towards the attack, right? Because he's across watching everything. One should be at the door, right? Also watching, and 2 or 3 inside. That was shot. That was not happening. There's a 3-man team. So 2 come out of the vehicle.
So the driver was still in there.
The driver was still in the vehicle.
Yeah.
Right. And the lady, the guy that got killed was to leave the island, you know, and he was delaying because he was training the girl and training some other people to take his place, which he never have to do. He could have leave, him volunteer to stay a little more, and him dead now. Now that happened, I think the Monday, I think, right? The Tuesday, that same location, there were 7 armed guards there. 2 armored vehicles, right? I'm talking 7 armed guards outside, you know. You had 4 security inside. Plus they had a private car escorting the 2 armored vehicles. So the security company had the manpower and the resources to ensure that the teams were fully functional. Fully functional. But as I said, once you start doing something on a routine, you get comfortable, you get lax. You know, it is the manager and the supervisors to ensure that the protocols, no matter what, the process is identity. The process is followed. Once in a security detail, you miss one of the steps, then you are compromising the whole thing.
Yeah.
And that is the problem.
Yeah, that was really sad there, you know. And it also shows something that the gunmen, them when somebody wants something, they're gonna be planning. So while they're going about their business, somebody already planning it, maybe from who knows, Lester, they could be watching it for weeks.
No, but that's what I didn't. We're not talk, but when they went back on some of the CCTV camera footage, the vehicle that the gunmen came in was there every day for a week and a half.
Really?
Yeah, but as I said to you earlier, before we come on the show and stuff, this is a hit. They are trained men.
Yes.
So, even if they were followed all the protocols, even if, Veronica, it's an ATM machine, so it's just not an inside job. It's an ATM machine. Them come It's not. It wasn't an establishment of the ATM machine. It was the JN Bank, you know. But the ATM machine, so the ATM they come to put money in the ATM.
Oh, so they just go inside and put the money. So they,
But what I'm saying is that the even if all the steps were followed, the result would have been the same, because you don't know so them are come for you, you know. So you could have defended yourself a little better. You may have killed one of the gunmen or injured one of the gunmen, but because of the element of surprise, because of the firepower, you have an automatic pump rifle. It can't fire the amount of rounds in a short space of time or rapidly, like where the man are coming. So the man are coming with AR-15 and you know 9mm. He realized that as them come out of the vehicle, so the man start shoot. It's not a stick up, it's not a robbery. They came to kill and take the money.
Yeah. So whether you come and go like this, that don't make no sense.
That don't make no difference.
They never had any mask. Did they have any mask? I don't think they had any mask also.
I don't think they care.
You didn't care.
I don't think they care. You know, so even if they had one of the team members across the road, right? Team would have maybe injured one of them. But remember, you as a criminal see him before him see you, you know. So you'd have come out and attack him also, attack the other two members simultaneously.
Yes.
So people, and I've been talking about this all week, and I'm saying the element of surprise is what is the factor here, and also the non-preparation and the missteps that the security team took. But we have seen the next day how the security company beef up everything, which is madness. It shouldn't have gone to that. Somebody should have to lose them life for you follow the protocols.
Because everybody got a bit relaxed and everything like that. Well, sorry that happened there, and it's really unfortunate, you know. Digicel, I just remember there's something. Digicel actually, I think Digicel is having gonna have a hard time in Jamaica there. Because
with Dennis, with the CEO, the founder.
Yeah, and now AT has messed them up.
Yeah.
People are gonna start jumping ship on Digicel.
Yeah, and then the Digicel stock, the operating. So if once people not having confidence in the CEO and the founder, and to have oh, hello my beautiful wife. So once people not having confidence in the CEO and the founder, in having a cash problem, having cash flow, you know, the company gonna have problems overall.
Yeah. And because I understand that down there in Digicel have a massive building there, isn't it?
The head office downtown Kingston,
yeah, have a massive building there, you know. Well, I think anyway, one of the most important things that we got through tonight is that somebody just said the Chinese have bought a lot of the Caribbean island nowadays. Maybe soon we have nothing of our own. Somebody said recently that the Chinese, when they go to Africa and they go to the Caribbean, they set up roads and they build infrastructure, but the Brits always debate it. The Brits always have debate, and then they said, I wonder how much Jamaica can afford to pay back, and somebody said, there they go, debating it.
But you see, I keep seeing on the blogs even today, people keep saying, you know, the leader of them or the politician or Andrew sell out to the Chinese, and I'm saying America and England had all these territories to themselves.
All the opportunity
To help develop these territories, and they did nothing, right? Somebody said, what's his name? The black guy from America, man. Dr. Umar Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Vita and I spoke about it, and some other friends. And I had to say that what Dr. Umar Johnson said was a lie. The Chinese does not own the wharf.
Okay.
The Chinese have now bought, I think, berth 1 to 6, I think, right? There's 13 or 14 or 15 berths. So they own 1 to 6. But it was already in the hands of private investors. So it's a private investor sell it to another private investor.
Yes.
It's not the government of Jamaica that sell it to the Chinese.
Well,
But
a lot of go on, listen, go on. Yeah.
but what I'm saying is that, you see, the Chinese are making massive investment in Jamaica, right? There are Jamaicans who live abroad who have a lot of money also, and are not making the same investment in Jamaica. Don't cry when somebody else say, hey, you know, so Mr. Valley in a year thing, but you know, Valley in a year thing, I'm gonna take your thing and I'm gonna make some money. Because you have a lot of Jamaicans living in Canada, United States, and England, and all of our Europe and stuff like that, making good, solid millions. They are not investing that millions in the infrastructure in Jamaica. They're not doing that.
I think what they're saying is that sometimes they don't know of these things, and normally they get it last, to get the information last. And I think that is what we have to do to sort of break that sort of impasse, if anything.
Silver, that's not true. That's not true.
I just said
Silver,
that because
Silver, but that's an excuse, because if you don't depend on the all right, you and I know so much things are happening in Jamaica, and we don't live in Jamaica, right? And we don't have the millions that these guys have, right? If they're on the ground there, if they're contacting government people there or stuff like that, you will get that information. So it's them have put themselves in a situation where they get this information also, you know. But what I'm saying is that all right, even though you complain, say you don't get information, you complain that the Chinese are buying it. Are these people even attempting now to come to Jamaica to make investment? No.
Yeah.
You understand? Them still not do it.
But somebody said, how can we invest if we haven't got a lot of money or work together? Well, there it goes. We'll go back to the old bit about we don't have the money and we don't work together. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. Read Vita said. They said, don't cry, daddy. Vita. What is that? What is that about Vita? There's something about Vita. Somebody said, excuses. Vita is a diamond. Unforgettable. She's everything all at once and too much for people who don't deserve her. The way to win her over is not through sweet talk, but through action. She notices every little thing. She can always tell if someone is being a backstabber or a friend. Vita loves with every fiber of her being, but she will not tolerate lies and excuses. Her only weakness is Lester. The only weakness is that she cares so much for others. She's something you regret losing because, like the sun, you can be alone. She can be alone and still shine. Vita, don't cry, daddy. Elvis Presley. I found that. She didn't know I was going to put that up there.
Mr. Shaw going with herself from Dave. That's okay.
Yeah. and you know what Michelle says, excuses, because Jamaicans know the history of the country, you know. But you know, I think that Jamaica and Jamaicans need to just take back their own country. When I say take back their own country, you're not taking it back, but actually take back yourself, you know, and actually capitalize on what you have in your hands. I always say what you have in your hands is very crucial, and Jamaicans should recognize that. And I know that there will be many, what should I say, reasons why not. But trust me, I believe there are more reasons why we can.
But Sylbourne, so for instance, it's argument's sake, right? You have a family house in.
This is what somebody said. Too late for that. There's not much left. Well, I can't agree with that, Star.
Even the liquor left, invest in it.
Even the liquor left, take it. You know what I mean? Take it.
You know what I mean? Take it.
Yeah.
But like I know you have a family house there, right? But I would encourage every Jamaican who can, right, buy a piece of land in Jamaica, right? Yes. As Michelle said, excuse. Don't make the excuse say, oh, crime higher Jamaica, oh, they more kill for this, no more kill. All right. So the Chinese not afraid of the crime. The Chinese not afraid that somebody will kill them.
Yeah.
You understand me? right? Them kidnap a Chinese businessman this week and take a $13 or $14 million from him was a Tuesday, right? Pose as police and go to them apartment. Them not run left Jamaica.
Also,
So
they kill a Chinese the other day also in that shop, isn't it?
yes. But what I'm saying, the Chinese and the Indians are not running away from Jamaica. They're coming more and more and more. Why are we the ones who is our country, we are runway? And then when runway, we not invest back. So I'm saying, you Sylbourne, buy a piece of property down there, build a house there. If everybody build a property there, you understand me? It helps the economy, but it also gives you a personal stake in Jamaica.
Yeah.
So the more we buy property there, and the less Chinese can buy property there.
So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, the most important thing is to buy property in Jamaica, no matter how small it is. And while people are saying that there's crime and not in their yard, why are people actually going there? The Chinese and investors are going there in Jamaica. What them see that we don't see? All they talk about gold, gold and diamonds. Gold and diamonds go deep down, and you got to dig to find it. So there's some jewel down there in Jamaica as well. I do appreciate the whole aspect that sometimes we don't know things, or we don't have the information, but we're going to try to make that information as much, because Ed Bartlett always send me WhatsApp messages sometimes. I get WhatsApp messages from Ed Bartlett all the while about what's going on regarding. I mean, the last thing he sent was this, and it sent me something about needing workers. Yeah, he said staff resourcing challenges holding back global travel recovery. Staff resources challenges. Bartlett said must predict, mitigate, manage disruption. There's
a new hospital being built in Montego Bay, right? There's a new children's hospital.
Yeah.
Built in Montego Bay. And they're short staff on construction workers, electrician, mason, carpenter, painters, them short staff on it. You know, and there's at least 5 or 6 new hotel building between Trelawney to Negril simultaneously right now, and then more workers. The IBEX in Portmore, the call center, want at least 400 workers right now.
Wow.
There's one beside IBEX who want 250 workers. KFC 850 employees.
Let's say what you're saying doesn't fit the narrative. You know that. It doesn't fit the narrative what most people want, but lots of people want to hear, because people are looking for many times the reasons why it can't. But at the same time, you're speaking some things which can actually help people get them a leg up. Veronica Tate said it's going to take the masses to accomplish that. But actually, the masses start with one.
Yeah.
Family. Somebody said family killing for dead left land beware. That's understandable, but it is not like happening in thousands. You know what I mean?
But still, bro, there's about 10 million Jamaicans living in a diaspora, right? About 10 million.
Well, I mean, a lot of people that I don't know much about.
Imagine if 2 million Jamaicans living overseas.
Actually, they normally said the same amount that live in Jamaica living overseas, so maybe about 4 million or so, but it could be more.
No man, we have that. America alone have more than 4 million. But what I'm saying is that just imagine say 2 million Jamaicans out of make us have 4 million. Imagine if 2 million out of the 4 million buy property in Jamaica, right? That is way more property being held by Jamaicans. That means that Chinese and Indians can't hold them same property there, because me sure know say 2 million Chinese and Indians not buying property in Jamaica. But if we buy property in Jamaica, buying a property in Jamaica, they can't buy.
So therefore, one of the key things is that lots of people also have the fear of going down Jamaica. America makes a good point here. Here's the biggest problem. If you have not been, I'm going to share it. If you have not been living there for 40 to 50 years, it's hard to go back to that lifestyle. But the question is, why do you think you have to go to another lifestyle? you can actually use that home, if anything, as holiday or vacation or something like that. You can use it
Or
as an
Airbnb
Airbnb.
or long-term rental.
Yeah, and you know, at the end of the day, I think we got to recognize that in the UK of recent days, a man and his girlfriend was running away and they killed. The child died. Okay, so that was wrong. Nicola Bully, she drowned the other day. That black girl was beaten up by 5 white children.
Yeah.
Mother beat her up. And it just came out of the Manchester inquiry, which killed a lot of people in bombs. And when you look around the world now, and even in America with the killing of Nichols, you're realizing that the world is not the same place as it was before. But what you have to understand is that when it's your time, it is your time. That doesn't mean to say you're careless. But when it is your time, it is your time. Well, you can't live in fear.
Sylbourne, as the Michelle said, and you know me and Michelle and normally agree on everything.
Yeah.
Excuse. What Veronica said, I might talk to you directly now. That's a poor excuse to say you don't live there for 40 or 50 years.
Mm.
Why is it that you have your homeland and you not visit for 40 and 50 years? You not have a connection with your homeland?
Yeah.
There's not one Nigerian where you can find, or a Ghanaian person who live overseas for 50 years who don't have a direct and a regular connection with them homeland. Not one. All of them go back, them go back, them visit, them have connections there. So
Yes.
so this argument that you live in England or America for 50 years and it's hard to go back to that lifestyle. You don't have to go back, because me leave the garrison come to Europe. I am not going back there to live. I'm gonna live somewhere in the rural area in a very nice community. You don't have to live in your old community or near it or in the same parish.
Yes.
There's many places in Jamaica that are nice. You can buy a place in a gated community. There's so many opportunities and options there. So where you can live a lifestyle of high value.
Yes. And as someone said here over here on Instagram, it is correct. UK have the best NHS at the same time, and that is one of the reasons why. But I believe Jamaica is developing in that area as much as possible regarding the health service. And for persons who are overseas wanting to go to Jamaica, they can sort of try to get good health care. I mean, so I know that's the reason that lots of people use, but I've got to promote Jamaica as a viable option and speak about the well-being of Jamaica and to see how we can develop Jamaica as much as possible, because we're talking about a better Jamaica. And why we're here in this program is talking about Jamaica. And therefore, what I think is that the opportunity that we have, that is why I had of recent days, the financial company of Victoria Mutual, VM, that came and talk about how they protect people's money. Why we're not even hearing nothing more about you saying about money. Where you got the money? See the man say he want about money. You get about money there.
Sylbourne, I said it on the show, both not give back $1 in. Both not give back $1.
I must address this person here, but that's not true, or you're living in hope. I'm talking about the health service. I'm not saying that the health service in Jamaica is best, but I'm just going to say that while the health service here in the UK is best or is good, that doesn't mean to say that's the best thing about the UK. So that is one aspect of it. If you're going to live your life because you want the best health service, then you're going to have to stay in the UK and live right next to the hospital, right? So all I'm trying to say is that if we are talking about Jamaica and we are saying we want a better Jamaica and we say we want to empower Jamaica, if you really mean Jamaica good, then we need to actually put our feet or money where our mouth is, or we just a chat. And that's why I'm trying to say we need to move away from just the talking I keep watching the bloggers them and stuff like that. It's pure chatting, Lester. There's no solution. It's just chatting. We need solutions. And a lot of it is going to be empowerment and education and a positive mental attitude.
Yeah, but still, you see, okay, the person commenting on this, the health issue, the health sector in Jamaica, right? Now, the health take a lot of money, lot of money, because the equipment in the health sectors are expensive. The drugs are expensive. The people doctors in the wards and in the ICUs are very expensive. Now, let me go back to what I said earlier a few minutes ago. Imagine that 2 million Jamaicans buy property, right, in Jamaica. Now, this money is going to go to the government because you have to pay a property tax, you have to pay stamp duty. So the taxes for the property go to the government. So that's revenue being generated in the country. This tax that you pay help go to the consolidator fund, help go to the budget, help go to the country will have more money now to improve the health services. So you who's making an excuse to say that the health service in Jamaica is not good, one of the reasons is because there's not enough money to make it good. Now, if you invest in your country and pay taxes in your country, right, the government, right, regardless of how corrupt the government is, they will have more money to invest in infrastructure in their country. It is as simple as that. But if you sit on the sidelines and just point and accuse and talk, right, then nothing won't get done. Be a part of the change. I am being a part of the change. But Sylbourne, we'll talk about that in the future.
Yes.
Wife and I will definitely come on. I will definitely talk about that in the future.
And you know that even in Jamaica, there, what we got to develop is that for persons who are having an issue with finding persons who can operate on their behalf, we can create and work with people and get people who is down there that can operate on their behalf that they can trust.
Like your sister.
Well, there goes. Like for example, you know. So therefore, we have to find solutions. That's what I'm saying. We have to find solutions, and I know that there are negative things, and I know, but I'm not going to focus on the negative things, and I'll reap it there. But it's safe all around, and we don't work together. So how do you enter to do it? I keep hearing this. This is what this person is actually saying on Instagram. We don't work together, but I keep saying that we need to stop saying that, because if you say you don't work together, you're perpetuating that same negative mental attitude. What you should be saying is, who do you work together with? Lester, do you work together with anybody?
Yes.
Okay, I work together with somebody.
Yeah. But Sylbourne.
Yeah.
Okay. We're doing something.
No. I need to say something. We don't work together. I keep hearing it a lot. We don't work together. What is this we? Who is this we? Sorry, I'm breaking into this now. Who is this we? We don't work together. Can you help me, Lester? Help me, guys. Who is this we?
Sylbourne.
Yeah.
There's some things that we're doing in Jamaica, right?
Yeah.
And we hire some persons to do something. Them fall on the job. You know what I did? Me never argue, me never fight them. We get somebody else to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the job is being done. We're doing some other stuff, and the person how the arrangement was, a few days after, then go back on the arrangement, and we said, okay, no problem. This is where the business ends. We got somebody else to do it. So when people say, "Oh, we're not working together," that's not true. That's not true. This person have a problem. Listen, you don't have to fight the person, you know.
Listen.
Move to, there's options there. There's options there.
Lester, I'm in the court arena, and we don't always work together, right? Lawyers on different side.
Yes.
In this world, we do not always work together. Nobody's always working together. And even with your colleagues, and sometimes you still don't even work together. But you find the like minds. You find
and work with that person.
And you work with that person. Start with your own tribe and build it. But if we keep saying, we don't work together, I'm going to break that down. Somebody just said, so right, this is it. Who is this we? Let's stop saying we don't work together. and find
but
who we can
Veronica
work
said
together with.
that she was
Yeah.
there for 9 days, and in 5 days she wanted to leave. No, no, I don't know the details. I don't know if
Yeah.
she was by her family
Okay.
house, if she was in a hotel or what. You understand me? Now, one thing I can tell you, I was there for about 14 or 15 days or something like that. I had a blast, right? You know why? Because I went around people who were like-minded. I went around people who are not going to give me negative energy.
Yeah.
I went around people who I feel safe with. Many times we put ourselves in environments, in situations, but I tell people all the while, you know, I forgot for your family there.
Yeah.
You know that, like, you put yourself in a situation where you go and let your family beg you and them thief out of your suitcase, and you don't have to do that, right? You can visit Jamaica, stay at a resort, nobody knows that you're there.
Yes.
You can buy a property, you build a property there, right?
Yes.
Listen, anybody who want to buy property and build property, only link me or link Vita. We have whole heap of architects, we have construction people, we have whole heap of people who can put in it through, right? And you build a property, you go, you visit, you live in your house, and you have a nice time, and you leave. A lot of times we tend to say we want to go back to the community.
Yeah,
right?
That's change.
You change too, you know.
Yeah.
You change too, right? Because
Yeah.
Sylbourne, when I went to Jamaica, when I went to Fletcher's Land, you understand me? Me not come out of the car.
Let's say you need to answer Veronica. I'm sorry. Did I read it?
As a Vita would say, that's a low hanging fruit. First of all, Veronica, we love the interaction, but ik woon in Netherlands, ik woon in Europe, ik woon niet in the United States of America.
And okay, I was going to interpret it for you. I can interpret it. I don't know what he said, but let's say it's not in the US. Just to let you know, he's in Netherlands. Listen. I sometimes hear that thing, you know, why are you in the US? Why in the UK? Listen, because that's a personal choice. You know, people's personal choice where they are, where they live. Because listen, this whole world. Listen, I always say to my father. Always say to me, when my father was alive, boy, the man there in England, I know about Jamaica more than we. The point about it is that whether you're in Jamaica or not, you have the right to speak up and talk about Jamaica as if to say you are there. Nobody has more authority over Jamaica. I keep saying to person, my good friend Raymond Treasure, who is the principal of York Castle High School. We're in the same class. He was my batchmate. We're in the same class. And one day he put out a tweet saying, Sylbourne, he said, you guys, once upon a time when your parents used to take you to school, you were all calling them elders. May I just say to you guys, now you're all becoming 50, you are now elders. And all of us are saying, oh, Raymond, shut up, man. We're telling us that we're getting older. But the point he was saying is this: you are now of an era of responsibility. And I believe that as elders, as you, less as me, and for those who are Jamaicans, wherever you are, you have a responsibility, and we have a responsibility to see a better Jamaica. And therefore, it is incumbent upon us to challenge leadership and to empower the people and to show the people how things can be better. That's our responsibility. Because guess what? We're not elders. We're not pion people anymore. We're elders. We got to teach the youths.
Still,
yeah.
And this is not just for Veronica. And again, love the interaction of Veronica. Love it.
Come on, we're just talking here.
And great question you ask. If Jamaica is so great, why am I living overseas?
Yeah.
All right. You see, people migrate for many different reasons, right? You have Americans living in Jamaica, living in Ghana, living all over the world, right? And people choose to live where they want to live because of many different reasons. Now, when you look at what I am doing in Jamaica, right? I am ensuring that my money is where my mouth is, right? I am investing heavily in Jamaica. I'm not afraid to go back to Jamaica. I'm not afraid to interact with Jamaicans in Jamaica, right? I made sure that I am making a safe, comfortable, and profitable environment for myself in Jamaica, right? Now, it's you have to create that safe space for you. Sandy, Cassandra visited, was in Jamaica last week. She spent like what, almost 21 days there. You understand me? And is a top lawyer in the US government, and she was all over.
I was wondering where she was. She was in the water. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
She had St. Thomas, Reggae Falls. She had Negril. She was all over. She had Tivoli Gardens. You know, where we are from. She was all over. No, and she's very successful. You know, as I said, a very powerful lawyer in the US government. But she was there on the ground. Nobody did anything to her, because guess what? She created her safe space, but she also kept in touch with the people who is there on the ground, and people were protecting her. People were, you know, she was having fun freely. So it is what you protect. Jamaica is a beautiful place. Yeah. No, we are averaging between 1,350 to 1,400 murders per year, right? Now, 78% of that is gang war. That means gangs are fight with each other. Them not just kick off people door and kill people. So the other percentage is domestic affairs between man and woman, brother and brother, sister and sister. So we don't have a spiraling crime, arbitrary crime that get out of hand. About 3 million people live in Jamaica, or 3.5 million people live in Jamaica, right? Google said 2.9. Listen, it's a lot more than that. Yeah. Now, just take it, 1,400 dead for the year, and we have 3 million. That means that not a lot of people are dead. For the level of guns, the amount of guns, the level of firepower that is in Jamaica, we should be averaging at least 5,000 murders for the year. For the level of guns that in Jamaica. So 1,400, we really get away with murder.
Yeah.
So don't make the situation look as bad as this is. Yeah. Veronica, when you visit Jamaica, do not go to places that are gonna make you feel unsafe. You know, if you go in your family member, them are your old community, don't go there.
Yeah, thanks for that, Lester. We're gonna wrap up now, but let's finish with one last question from Instagram. I keep saying that, I keep forgetting that Instagram has a sort of defect, because the only reason I use Instagram is because it's like a shop window to point towards the YouTube. The really interaction is from the YouTube guys for the future, Sylbourne TV. But Project said something, this. How do you intend to change things apart from just talking? Which is also something which I say, because I always say we need to reduce the level of talking and do action. And we can go into this a bit, Lester. How do you intend to change things from just talking? One of the things that I kept saying, and I said it a lot tonight, is about education and empowerment for the people. And therefore, we don't have to wait for government to do that, but we can do that through here. And it has to do with talking. It has to do with communication. That's the only way you can inspire people and motivate people. Lester is aligned to a political party, and different persons come with different perspective, and yet we have a good conversation to show that we can have conversation meaningful with different political allegiance. And what we spoke about tonight are some of the solutions. Last week we spoke about things like how can you lobby your government, how people can lobby their government instead of just waiting for election time. There are things they can do, but we're not going to go into that now. So there are many things. Unless you can say a couple of things before we wrap up.
As I said earlier, Senator Damian Crawford is a very good friend of mine. He's a PMP, right? And we get along well. You understand me? If I want certain things to be done in Jamaica, I can pick up my phone and call Damian, and he will answer. I'm gonna say, I need this, that, and he point me in the right direction. You know, now everybody don't have the access that I have based on what I do and stuff like that. But to change,
I was sheldowing with Damon in
in Olympics.
yeah, Olympics. Yeah, I was Sheldon with it.
But
And
you
David
see, you have to invest, whether money or your time. You know. All right. Jamaicans work on Jamaican time, then the business in a Jamaican fashion. You and this is what I have done, and I'm talking this week. How I interact as a European national citizen, and how my wife interact as a US citizen, right? We do business on a very professional and strict manner. Jamaicans are very lax. You know what I did? Something come up and something that we never like, and this is not how we do business. I let the person know often that, listen, you're offering a service, I'm paying for this service. We expect this. You know what, the person apologized, the person tried to make some correction. So that's also an investment to let people know that they must operate at a higher standard. They can. You know, so you have to make that investment in time also. You have to make that a personal investment where you cannot, all right, I'm gonna do this. This idea can work, I'm gonna do this. Right? So it's about how you invest, it's about what you see, it's about how you look on, it's about purview. If you look at things, everything but at Jamaica, then everything will look bad to your Jamaica.
Yeah.
Right? Everything will look bad to your Jamaica. You must have one family member or one friend who you can say, you know, we can trust this person to some level to do some business on my behalf. I can do some type of business there. I can make some type of investment there. It takes everybody in increments to do something well, you know. That's all, you know. It's not hard. We as talk and I say, it bad Lord Jesus, them all kill me, you know. I mean, when you look on the crime rate in Blackpool or, you know, Leicester City, so some places in England, white communities are killing people more than black communities in England. It's like 7-1. It's really bad.
You know, listen, somebody, Angel, said here on Instagram, which is what you always say, the government do have training centers in Jamaica, but the people don't want to attend. You even have advert trying to get both men and women to training center. I visit a few, very interested. Jamaica rich people are not going back to Jamaica to set business, to employ. They only invest in properties. That's what somebody also said. But invest in properties, somebody's benefiting, isn't it?
Yes, they have to pay property tax.
You pay property tax, and when you buy property, you're gonna have people who actually, whether it's in a community or in a gated community, man have to clean the place.
Yeah.
Women have to, not women, but you gotta have what you call it, housekeepers.
Yes.
Come and clean, and you're gonna have garden men. You're gonna have the dump, the person with the trucks come and clean the place. And anyway, there are many opportunities, you know.
But you say, you know, remember, you live in the US or you live overseas in the diaspora. So you spend either Canadian dollar, US dollar, or euro or pounds.
Yeah.
So I'm answering that specific argument. When you invest in property, you spend actually US dollars in a country that needs US dollars or foreign exchange that needs foreign exchange. So even although you buy it from a private person, you spend US dollars, and that US dollar is put into the economy also.
Yes. Well, definitely. Well, Lester, it was a great night, and I think we are on the threshold of something.
Thank you, Veronica. Thank you for the interaction.
Thank you, Veronica.
Speaker.
Angel, thank you. 2K Project St. Albans, thank you for the input. B and everybody.
Michelle.
Yeah, Michelle as well. And I think what is very important is that we're gonna try to come with solutions at different possible, and to get persons who create decisions as well. And I got Ed Bartlett, supposed to get him on at some point, you know, and ask these questions as well. And Lester, you're supposed to be trying to get some of the persons who are the holders of power.
But Sylbourne, one last thing. Even if you don't invest in a property there, right?
Yes.
visit Jamaica for holidays, because the airfare, the plane ticket that you buy, right? There's a portion of it that goes to the Tourism Enhancement Fund, right?
Yes.
That goes to developing communities.
Yes, that's what
So,
Ed
like-
said, isn't it? Mm.
Yeah, so like in Orchard recently, where Councillor Ian
Isaac. We went to
right?
school together.
Goodbridge.
Orchard.
Goodbridge.
You can talk about Orchard, yeah. We'll show the picture. We'll show the picture. Go on, talk
Yeah.
about Orchard.
You know, so he lobbied the NAA and the Tourism Development Fund, and he fixed a lot of roads there, and they had improvement in lighting, the street lights, and so it is the money that for persons who travel there.
Sorry,
When I
Mr.
hear-
Paul.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Somebody was saying to get Durban Malcolm, but I said, is Durban Malcolm a person that can make changes in Jamaica? What I'm trying to do is get away from just the talking and try to get some solutions. Really, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
You know, so things like that. So the ticket, part of the ticket price goes to Tourism Enhancement Fund, which do the Negril sign, it do the Mobile sign, it has fixed schools, it fixed hospitals, it fixed roads, it do a lot of infrastructure work. So a lot of people don't understand, say, you know, even if you don't invest hardcore money and buy a property or something, just the plane fare, plane ride, and vacation in Jamaica,
opens
it helps.
up.
It helps. Yeah.
Opens up a lot of opportunities. Opens up a lot. I think we got to actually have the eyes of vision to see beyond what we can see, and therefore, for those who actually see the problems, then those who don't see the problem or see the obstacle as a solution, or I would say I see obstacles when we stand up, and I always say obstacles are like solutions that you stand upon like a soapbox and you preach. When I'm in the park and walking, you know, you don't think. Listen, if I was to look for solutions in the UK, when I came to the UK in 1992, I wouldn't be where I'm at, because there was listen, I had to work at different places, man. I remember one time going for a place to work, Leicester, and I was excited. My appointment was 10 o'clock. And when I went there, there's about near to another 100 people there saying, "Welcome, guys. Now you can take this bag and go in the high street and sell these toys and say 2 for 1 or 1 for 2 or blah, blah, blah." There, I was thinking that I was the only man at 10 o'clock when I went to the place, and I had to go out and put on my bag, the bag with all these toys, and walking through the different high street, going into these shops in Indian shops or whatever, selling these pens and these toys and all those sort of things. And at one point, I tell you, I mean, and I even work as a waiter, and I have a picture with Delroy Lindo from Romeo Must Die. I didn't see solutions, man. I remember one time I was hungry, man, and a neighbor lady sent her daughter and bring some food for me. Listen, man, listen. You can look for solutions if you want. You can look for problems if you want to find problem, or you can find solutions if you want solutions. I can tell you a lot of obstacles I had.
Sylbourne, I have a box. I have a shoes box. I have 4 shoes boxes with money transfer slips, right? Yeah. And my first year here was 2015. So I was going through the 2015 box.
Yeah.
And when we reached 2 million, we stop.
Yeah.
But that Jamaican dollars, right? The equivalent. We stop because I remember I not done the boxes, you know.
Yeah.
And I 4 boxes back. I said to myself, I hold my money, I send guy Jamaica, you know.
Yeah.
Right? And it started getting depressing coming. I said, should I see could I see it? You know? But I mean, at the time I had my children there and stuff like that, and you know, my mother is there and stuff like that, and you know, what I'm saying is that when we look on the volume, you know, 1 year, you know, you know, and I may never reach half of the amount. Me say, reach 2 million silver, but we stop up and say, no, but I continue, you know. So even the remittance that we send back to our family and friends, you know. it goes a long way. It goes a long way. And Sylbourne, I've done cleaning jobs here.
Yes.
Right? Me not free to talk. Me not do that now, you know. Me not a better position now. I'm not near where I want to be. But I've done cleaning job, clean toilet.
Yes.
At a vacation park. You understand me? Right? Clean dirty bathrooms and spread bed and do all stuff like that. So I've done it all. You know, me walk in a snow, ride in a snow, stranded because the snowstorm come and the train everything shut down.
Yeah.
You know, stuck in a tunnel. You remember me stuck in a tunnel? I'm stuck in a tunnel, right, for about 4 hours.
Wow.
The train stuck in the tunnel. So you know, I'm not afraid to work hard or do certain type of jobs to, you know, to feed my family and to make my life better, to pay my bills and stuff like that. So it's not like we're a foreigner live in a rosy life. You know, we have you and I and Vita and Michelle and Dee and other persons have really, you know, put their hand in the dirt and work. You know, but it's the ambition we have and the vision we have and where you want to go.
Yeah, you're right. It's the ambition you have and the vision that you have, and as we say, when Jamaicans actually migrate and go overseas, it's somehow something happens whereby their working attitude and their mentality completely change in comparison to back home. You know, but hey, that's for another time. And we keep bringing these solutions as much as possible. Esther, all the best. Vita gone, we talk. Yeah, peace
and
out.
Thanks to everybody. Thanks to all of the participation, and I hope nobody don't feel offended. Me don't know everything, Sylbourne don't know everything. You know, we're giving our feedback to what you said, and we welcome your feedback. Right? You can, I mean, say anything you want, as long as you're respectful. You know, always keep the comments coming. But we like to have solutions, and we like to teach, and we like to, if it, no matter what you want, ask. If we don't know, we don't know. What do we mean? Me, I go get the information. You know, just like before me come up on the show, Sylbourne, I did some research into the whole cannabis thing, the whole cannabis industry.
Yeah.
I called, you know, certain people, you know, the information minister, call some people, call a couple senator, my cousin Cavan Gale is a senator, we call them just to get stuff that in the media, but stuff that they would know because they're in a government, and get some stuff and we say, okay, cool, me educated now on it fully, you know, we can present some stuff on the show. So you know, it's not like we have all the answers, but we open the dialogue for a conversation. But also, Sylbourne and I, O'Neill, Vita, we do actual work on the ground in Jamaica. We're actually trying to make a difference to people's lives and stuff like that. You know, and personally, but even talk about me and Vita, personally, me get a lot of people business in Jamaica. You know that, Sylbourne. So like the clothes them when let me try to find one of them. Yeah. Right? Kiddies do anything we have like with my name on it or anything like that. Right? Kiddies is the one in Jamaica where you know, like for instance this. Yeah. You know, straight to Jamaica it come from. Right?
Yes.
And we could have buy it, we could have do it here. But you know, with and this is a part of my giving back where, you know, me do a lot of things with people in Jamaica who have business.
And you're right, because at the end of the day, by you contributing to kiddies contribute to the economy. Because you have to pay tax. You know what I mean? Exactly. And you have to employ people. And of course, as we know, she's expanding as well. The only reason why she's expanding is because business is booming and getting a lot of work. So and Jamaica is benefiting. So therefore, instead of talking about the Chinese man taking over Jamaica, kiddies are taking over Jamaica. So black people taking over Jamaica as well. You know. One last thing I was gonna say, what I keep talking about a lot. There are either 4 or 5 black women were on The Voice. No, a show called Loose Women, equivalent to The Views or whatever, like with Whoopi Goldberg. and these 5 black women were on the program, or 4 black women, and the Voice newspaper over here, which is the Gleaner owned. I never knew they were on the program because I don't watch the program at that time. The Voice newspaper said these black ladies were on the program today or whatever, and they got a lot of racist comment. Now, I responded by saying, I never knew they had a racist comment. I never read their racist comment, but I'm just going to say, well done to them. The point I'm trying to say is that you can pick up anything you want to pick up or dismiss what you want to dismiss. So instead of talking about the fact that these 5 black women or 4 black women got racist comment, ignore that. Don't give them any legs. Don't give them no oxygen. Speak about the brilliance of these black women and let it be. Because you can't stop. Listen, you cannot stop racism. You can't stop the man from being racist. I saw them stay if they want racism, but don't let it pitch in your head. The bird can fly.
Sylbourne, you know, say if we have some racist people watch a show, right?
Yeah.
And them make racist comment.
Yeah.
Say for instance, it's 10 of them. Yeah. And them make racist comment. But I tell you, don't block them. Me say, you know what I say to them? Yeah. Continue watching. Continue giving up the views.
Yes. Well, that's another thing again. Yeah. Capitalize on it in a way, because as the Bible says sometimes the best way to deal with somebody sometime, or somebody offended or whatever, is to bless them and do good to them and heap a coal of fire upon them head and stuff like that. I think we've got to change our mentality. Stop seeing the problems and see the solutions. That doesn't mean to say that you don't deal with the problem if it is there. If somebody is racist towards you, there are ways you can deal with that, but don't give it legs if it is not necessary. No. As a matter of fact, if it is there, don't share it to say this happened. Why are you sharing it to say it happened? You're giving it legs, and you're giving the racists legs as well.
Yeah.
What are my simple things?
Sylbourne,
Virgin.
1:35 now in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Not
12:35 here. Yeah, gone past the time. But anyway, I don't know. Good conversation still. All right.
Yeah. All right. Blessings.
Peace or less. All the best.
Yeah.
Thank you. Cheers. Bye-bye. Thanks. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for joining, and those on Instagram, those on Facebook, and I want to encourage you to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And the Instagram is just used as what should I say, a shop window to direct you over to the YouTube. I'm trying to wean people off the Facebook and the Instagram and onto YouTube, because that's where the interaction is. That's where you can see the guests, and that's where you can actually comment and be a part of the whole process at the same time. So I want to thank you so much and always look for solutions. Look for solutions in everything that you do. And don't get me wrong, as I said, yes, deal with the problems, but solutions, take it to the next level. And remember to like and subscribe, and remember to follow me as I walk in the park in the morning on my walk and talk motivational moments, enjoying the birds and enjoy God's nature, which God created, not the universe, but what God created. And thank you so much, and have a good night, and God bless you.